Hey there, fabulous ladies. Welcome to Bring Back Your Pink, where we celebrate the fabulousness of midlife and beyond. I am Jen B, your host, your biggest fangirl and impact-driven entrepreneur living my biggest and boldest life, so you can too. Get ready to leave behind societal expectations and embrace a life filled with laughter, joy, and endless possibilities. So stand tall, turn up the volume, and let's dive into the world of living life in full color. Together, we'll rediscover the power of being unapologetically ourselves, and we will release our inner vibrancy, and together we will bring back our pink. Let's make every moment count, girls. Hello, lovely ladies, and welcome to this week's episode of Bring Back Your Pink. Today, I have an incredibly special guest with me, Amy, the founder of Confetti Rebels. Now, if you've ever wondered about the power of apparel to make a statement, you are going to want to stick around for this episode. 6 years ago, Amy was at a major crossroads in her life. She'd just had a second child and was wrestling with post-natal depression. And a return to her previous 9-to-5 life was out of the question. So what did she do? She flipped the script and created Confetti Rebels, a brand aimed at empowering women through statement tees. Now, if you follow along on my Instagram, you're going to see me wearing a goodish number of these tees because I have many of them and they make me very happy and I feel very powerful when I wear them. So I'm so excited that Amy is here. But within the first month of starting her online store, she heard from a woman who had survived domestic violence. And Amy knew right then that this was more than a business. This was a calling. So while Amy will be the first to say she's got her own challenges, and hey, don't we all, she feeds off the energy of making her customers feel happy and empowered. And that, my friends, is the essence of Confetti Rebels. So get ready for an inspiring chat with Amy, where we dig into the highs, the lows, and the fabulous in-betweens. Thanks for tuning in this week. And without further ado, let's welcome Amy to the show. Thank you so much for coming on, Amy. I know you have a super busy life, and I am so glad you're here today.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited. You know, I love talking about myself. So any opportunity. And when you asked me, I was like 100%. And I love your vibe as well. So I think we're going to really riff off each other today.
I think so. And I mean, I'm such an advocate of your teas. Of course, I have my not made to be subtle tea on.
I love that.
Enough. If only I could have put like all of them on. But anyway.
Oh, I know. Maybe we could do like although you never know. Every time I've done that, I've shown a boob or something. So yeah, doesn't go down too well on a live video.
Oh, girls. Anyway.
Oh God, I love it.
Start off by sharing the origin story of Confetti Rebels. You mentioned that it was born out of a challenging time in your life, with the postnatal depression. How did you find the strength to start a business while struggling with that? And what motivated you to start like an empowerment apparel company?
Yeah, look, I mean, I had a few things that I thought I was going to do because obviously, I worked in big corp. I worked in, 9-to-5, which was, it's never 9-to-5, is it?
I know.
In the city, my husband and I, we were both commuting into the city. I had my firstborn son and, so I was diagnosed with postnatal depression, but wasn't straight up. It was about maybe a year and a half into it. So I'd kind of lost my way. My father had passed away like shortly before I was pregnant with him and with my son, sorry. And I kind of felt like I couldn't go back to that life because it reminded me of too many things in the past that were upsetting. And then also I just couldn't keep up that lifestyle, literally the commute. I know some people do and it's amazing, but for me, we live in the sticks and it was just too far. So I had my firstborn and then I kind of was really lost. I wasn't working. I was kind of trying to find what would make me happy. I was doing craft things. I was, I don't even know what I was doing. I was just trying to find something. So I still was doing graphic design, which is my actual trade, what I went to university for, all that kind of stuff. And I was doing a bit of freelancing and then had my second daughter, or my second child, which was a daughter. And I kind of started thinking, I there was a lot of things that I went through in business and saw things and experienced things, and I'm like, I really want to talk about it, and I don't know how. And I started an Instagram page, and I just thought, I I thrive off people empowering others, and I was kind of in that sort of zone as well. And I started doing some videos and some, I was building it Confetti Rebels up before I actually, launched. And I found that people were sort of going, oh, I love that you do your dancing and you do this and you do that. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start a business, which, I've always loved wearing slogan t-shirts. It's always been a thing. I'd paint my own slogans on them, using fabric paint. And they were probably a lot more would I say, like, non-PC before, because obviously I wasn't selling them or anything. So I thought, I'm going to do something along the lines of that, because I really like the thought of being able to wear what you feel. So, so I started, doing my research. I really wanted to print locally. I really wanted to print onto t-shirts that were, ethically made. There were all these boxes I wanted to tick. And thankfully, like, I managed to tick about 90% of them. So I did manage to find an amazing screen printer who actually, his warehouse is literally 2 minutes from my house. I love it. He hates it because I'm always down there bothering him. How's those t-shirts? Are they going to get printed today? Because I really need to get them out. He's like, I usually have to bribe him with some sort of food, even though I've paid. But so I found an amazing screen printer, and I just thought, what slogans resonate to me that I could produce that would resonate to other people. So I got about maybe 10 or 11 printed, and I did a photo shoot. It was so off the cusp. I was so unorganized. I got like a local photographer. I quickly grabbed a whole bunch of, I put a post out on the Northern Beaches women's page, Facebook page. Mum's page said, oh, I'd love, I need 5 women. I don't care what you look like. I just want you to be, free and confident in front of the camera. I'm just starting this brand. Let's, it's a t-shirt brand. Who wants to come? I had like 20 people, 30 people that wanted to come, and I had to obviously squash it down to about 5 because I couldn't, photograph everybody. And I literally did the photo shoot, designed the website the day before, got the photos, and launched on the same night. And I sold 10 t-shirts in one night, which was huge for me.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it kind of snowballed from there. A lot of those sales weren't from people I knew. They were from like people that were following me on Instagram. And, I launched everything on one night, and like, here's the website. This is the new brand. This is what I'm launching. This is what I'm passionate about. And it went crazy. Really, really good. Like, really, really good, crazy. So that's how it all began.
I love this story. So when did you realize that this was going to be, more than just a business as such? Do you remember your apparel actually, or your tees, really impacted somebody's life?
Yeah, look, I would say probably close to 6 to 12 months in, the stories I was getting back from people, oh, I love this t-shirt because, I did one that said shake your tits, it's Friday. And they're like, I love this t-shirt because on Fridays, we listen to R&B Fridays and in the office, and we all love to dance around. And, I bought this t-shirt for, my six employees, and then they'd send me a video and I'd love that. And then I'd get like a message from someone saying, I just bought your t-shirt for my daughter. She's having a really hard time at school accepting like her body, and I thought this would be perfect. And then then I had one in particular, which was a woman that was a DV survivor, and she was having a court case against her ex-partner, and she wore her worthy t-shirt. So it literally just says worthy on it. Like, I am worthy. I'm worthy of happiness. I'm worthy of not being treated like shit. I'm worthy of this. I'm worthy of that. Whatever you feel like you're worthy to for. And she wore that on the day at the court session, and she just said she just felt so free and alive. And that's kind of where it got, to the point where I'm like, okay, this means something. I know these t-shirts I wear mean something to me, but I was starting to feel like they were making an impact on other people's lives. I know it's a piece of clothing, but when you wear it and you're walking around the street and you're strutting down, like, you get people looking at you going, oh, like they either judge you and go, oh no, that's not for me, or they're like, yeah, love your t-shirt. And I'm like, Confetti Rebels,
Look, I mean, I'll say Confetti Rebels has had an impact on me. My part of my journey was going from being invisible and wanting to be invisible, and trying to fit myself into a box that I thought I should be. Then coming out and getting your tea. If I'm too much, go find less. And not made to be subtle. And whenever I wear these, I feel powerful. Like, I really do. Like, I feel like they validate who I've become, who I am, and who I'm always meant to be. And that is the power of wearing a tee like that. I wear them frequently in my photo shoots because I love them. Don't be a lady, be a legend.
Yeah.
I've even got I've worn another shoot, kind people are my kind of people.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like a religion for me. It's my own personal religion. So yeah, it's really, you wear them and they make you feel good.
Yeah. And I mean, look, I'm not the only slogan t-shirt company. Like, there's amazing brands out there. Hence why I really only produce t-shirts that resonate to me. And that means usually, most likely, it resonates to the community that's following me on Instagram. Like, 98% of the sales that I get through my Shopify website are from Insta. So therefore, like-minded people are following me. I have customers that literally will buy every single t-shirt I launch. And then there's other ones that step back and go, oh, well, I don't have ADHD, but, I love that one. But majority of the customers that, my customer return rate is really high, and retaining that is really important for me, rather than going out and going, oh, I need new customers. I need one and done. I want one and done. Like, to me, it's satisfying the customers that I already have. And I find that, a lot of them are like-minded and very similar to me as well. So it's great.
Well, thing is too, the quality, just digressing, which is not something I planned on talking about, but I am right now, because whilst I was digging through my wardrobe to find this shirt, I pulled out Peace, Love and Lollipops. Now, I think that was the first one I bought off you probably 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, and I thought it was one of my new shirts.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, hey, that's Peace, Love and Lollipops. And it still looks fantastic. So it like that, the quality is so good, which is great because, as you said, you're trying to do ethically made and keep it small. And they really do. Like, this has been washed like about 50 million times. And it's still vibrant. It still looks amazing.
That's the thing, right? It's so hard to tick all those boxes. And, I use the brand AS Color, and I know a lot of other t-shirt slogan brands do. And AS Color are known for being ethically made. They're part of the Amphori code, which, really make sure that they crack down on who makes their t-shirts. And the quality is amazing. And I screen print my t-shirts. Well, I don't. My screen printer Nick does. And that's why I chose that process, because I know it sounds bad, but you don't have to, it's not, one and done. You don't throw that t-shirt out. Like, the one I'm wearing at the moment is, I think about 5 years old, and I wear it all the time. So obviously they have a shelf life, but and some more than quicker than others, depends on how many times you wear them. But the whole point is, I don't like to contribute to that fast fashion mode of you've got to buy. I still want you to have, t-shirts from 3-4 years ago, because I don't think that, for me, it's not worth it for you to just, buy. You want to keep buying. I mean, if you resonate with the slogan, obviously, but I don't want them to be crap quality and you have to get another one kind of thing. So I thrive off that.
They're not. They're they still feel amazing, etc. So, I think it's great.
You.
So Confetti Rebels is it's an empowering brand. It advocates empowerment, self-expression. What does empowerment mean to you personally?
Look, honestly, empowerment means the chance to be, and I know like there's going to be so many, flushy comments coming out here, but genuinely being yourself. Like, I'm sure we've all been through those times in our life where we felt like we need to, fit in, as you said, fit into a certain box, fit to a certain standard, become a kind of person that you want to impress your boss or the people around you or your family. I've grappled with that as well. I had parents that had really high standards of me, and what parent doesn't of their child, and they weren't horrible about it, but it was just the way I interpreted it, and it constantly made me feel like I was never good enough. That always the eager to please, the need to please. I still do that now, even though I'm probably not as prolifically. I probably don't prolifically do it as much as I used to, but yeah, just giving yourself that opportunity to become who you are. I really haven't. I think by the age of 30, I found who I actually was as a person. And I was really at a crossroads as to if I wanted to be that person, and because I knew that I would definitely ruffle a few feathers. Like, I don't believe in being rude or nasty to people, but literally the art of not giving a fuck what people think about you is really important, because you can still like live by that motto but not be rude about it. Like, I emancipated myself from a family member, a couple of years ago because, again, the t-shirt, if I'm too much, go find less. They always called me a drama queen. They said I was an attention seeker, all this kind of stuff. Like, I'm like, so that doesn't make me a bad person. Like, just because I'm an attention seeker doesn't make me a shit person. It just means that I probably stand out a little bit more against people like my husband, who is socially introverted, and he's a beautiful person. And he's happy to let me guide, the social scene. There's always people like that. It doesn't make them a bad person, and doesn't make people that are introverted bad people. So it's just embracing who you are as a person, to me, is genuinely what I want to come out of what I'm not just a slogan t-shirt brand. I'm literally trying to encourage people to be themselves and embrace themselves and embrace their personality, embrace what you've got, embrace your body, embrace your mind, everything like that. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping to achieve through my business.
And that is why I wanted to get you on. And I just want to have a little clap for you for realizing at the age of 30 and being who you were meant to be, because that's what this podcast is about. And, I don't want people to wait till they're 52
Yeah.
to who they were meant to be,
Yeah.
So hearing you say, at the age of 30, I'm like, yes. So for any of you young ones out there listening, please be who you're meant to be in the first place. Don't try and fit to society's expectations. It's
Totally.
who you're meant to be. And actually that kind of leads to the next question. You have a broad range of customers, and you're very size inclusive. You go down from like the extra small up to like a 5XL.
Yeah.
I love to buy really big t-shirts, so I'm always happy it's a 5XL. I'm like, it's a mine. But what's the common thread that you think attracts people to follow you? Because like, whilst you're Confetti Rebels, you are a personal brand. You're very much known as Confetti Rebels. What do you think attracts people to come and follow you?
Look, honestly, I think something like authenticity. Like, I've always said, I sell crew neck t-shirts. Again, it's that ticking the box. Like, I have people that are like, your sizes are in like female t-shirts, extra small through to 2XL. And then I say, I want to extend the size from extra small, extra large, a men's extra large, a men's 2XL, and a men's 3XL. I don't lie about it. If you don't like that in crew T-neck t-shirts or T-necks, crew tee, you know what I mean? I don't lie about it. That's what I supply. If I want to go into the point where I'm providing a t-shirt that's a scoop neck, I've got to go offshore. Then I've got to do a massive amount of print runs and get them made. And it's that whole, oh god, I need to get it to at a certain cost in order to import it over. It's a really hard thing. So keeping that authenticity. I don't lie about my t-shirts. I genuinely like crew neck t-shirts myself. So yeah, it's definitely something that you know, I just believe in authenticity. So if it works to my advantage, it's great. If it doesn't, that's just what it is. So
I
yeah.
think one of my favorite sayings, I think I told you when we met up at Beck's launch,
Yeah.
you be everyone's cup of tea, but
Yep.
you heck someone's shot of vodka. And that's the thing, isn't it? Like, but I think people would be attracted to you too because your sheer joy and energy, it's a joy, like it's a joy to watch. I love watching you. And the fact that you just go, I don't really give a fuck, I'm gonna dance in my undies. I'm like, you go, girl.
Yeah. Like obviously that kind of stuff I don't care for. Like I don't care what people think. But if I've ever upset or offended someone from what I'm saying, like obviously something like that is gonna, that upsets me. I never want to cause, I don't want to be known for ruffling people's feathers for saying really offensive things because it's just not worth it for me. But yeah, what I do personally and how I act, it's kind of no one's business. And if you don't like it, then you don't have to follow me. You don't have to buy my stuff. But I find that people really appreciate, if I do want to dance around in my undies or, wear whatever I want and do whatever I want. But yeah, you can do that to an extent, without having to offend people. So I mean, at the end of the day, always someone's going to be offended about something.
Be someone offended. Trust
Yeah,
me.
totally.
Always going to be someone that's going to put a negative comment on.
Yeah. I'm very lucky though. I don't get trolled too much. I think just because that comes down to building that community, people know that. I mean, I'm very, it's that fine line. I believe I have my beliefs, other people have their beliefs. I respect that you have your beliefs. You come onto my forum and diss my beliefs, then maybe I might not block you, but I might delete your comment. But yeah, I don't go onto your forum and attack you. So it's kind of that, it's a fine line, but yeah, I do have a really supportive community, which I love. So yeah.
So cool. And this kind of leads into actually another thing I want to ask you because you're like, let's be honest, there's so many trendy fast fashion lines out there.
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep your brand authentic and avoid that trap? I mean, I think you've kind of covered it in a lot of what you've said.
Yeah.
The sourcing of the teas and by you, but is there any other way that you
Look, I don't really follow trends. The good news about slogan t-shirts is I don't think they're ever going to go out of fashion. People always love to wear a t-shirt. I think like the start of last year or close to mid last year, I decided to just venture out a little bit and create some products that really literally resonated to me. Like obviously the rainbow chill skirts and things like that. I Googled rainbow chill skirt for adults and nothing came up. So I just thought, stuff it, I'm going to get my own made. And yes, I do. I get them made in China. Why? Because I have a really great supplier. I have a really ethical supplier. I pay extra. So, they say, oh, this is going to cost this much because, you want it done, you want this small amount of small quantity made rather than mass producing. And I'm like, that's fine. It's so funny. Mass producing actually is a lot quicker than if I want to only order 200 of them. It's really bizarre. So, I have a great supplier that, ticks all the boxes of what I want. And I mean, that's the best I can do. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to get my own made. And, I take time, I get the samples made, the quality, at the first sample I got made, the band on the top was like a lot thinner and I felt like, no, it cuts in. And if it cuts in on someone like me, it's going to cut in on a woman that's plus size. So let's get the band thicker. And they're like, oh, but the band, if it's thicker, it's got to be this fabric. I'm like, that's fine if that's a compromise. So, this is a whole new ball game for me as well. Producing, t-shirts is really easy because they're just there. And I just have to shove a slogan on them. Whereas producing actual like items from scratch, it's so new to me. So I'm still learning those kind of things. But yeah, after selling out twice with those rainbow chill skirts, clearly I'm onto a winner with them. So yeah.
Fun too, Amy. Like it's not literally about being, wearing black and corporate and pencil skirts. Like I felt, I mean, as you know, I have one of your skirts and, we did the photo shoot and I'm out the front of the house with my husband dancing around the street.
And you secretly loved it.
It was actually really empowering. I'm like, and every now and then I think at 55, am I too old to wear a bloody, full skirt? I'm like, heck no, I want to wear it and I'm going to wear it.
Come on, look at Iris Apfel. Like, she's amazing and she just owns it.
She is my
yeah, there's a lady I follow called oh my God, I can't I told you I wouldn't go on my phone, but I'm going to quickly find her on my my Instagram, and she is absolutely oh my God, like I think she's like close to 90. And yeah, I can't remember her. I'm gonna find it, and I'm telling everybody to go follow her because she's got millions and millions and millions of followers. Batty Winkle.
Oh, I follow her. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Batty Winkle is everything I love. I want to be Batty Winkle when I'm like, is she like 91 or is she 100 or something like that?
Because actually someone asked me the other day when I was interviewing them, they're like, how old do you want to be? I'm like, I'm totally going to get to 102 like Iris Apfel. Yeah. I'm still going to be wearing my chill skirts.
Absolutely.
And I'm still going to rock this because I spent too much time trying to be somebody I'm not to actually ever go back to being like that. So, at whatever age I get to, I'm still going to have my pink hair.
That's it. And as I said, it's embracing that. Like, I have a family friend and all she wears is black, but she always has different colored hair. And I love that. Like, she just doesn't care. She walks around with a roller in the front of her hair. Like, yeah, she just doesn't care. The art of not giving a fuck. Like, whatever makes you feel good, just do it. So
about living life in full color. But if full color to you is wearing black and loving it, wear the black.
That's it. And you know what? Sometimes I do love a black. I did just release a t-shirt that said, wears black, loves coffee, avoids people, because after having sometimes when I go through like a week of having massive amounts of things going on in my life or seeing lots of people, like say markets, for instance, you've come across 2,000-3,000 people chatting to people. I go into shutdown mode and I literally don't want to talk about anything to anyone for at least a week after. I don't know if that's an ADHD trait or something like that, but I go into shutdown mode, and that t-shirt is me to a T. And then I come out of it and I'm like, right, I'm ready to wear color again because I'm feeling motivated again. So yeah.
If it had cats on it, as you know.
I know. I promise you I'll do a cat t-shirt because I do love cats. I have a cat myself and he's my life. So yeah.
Okay, just like me. Just like my no, because it is a thing. I've been doing a lot of, sort of networking and going out a lot recently. It was just like yesterday. I'm like, I've been out the last 4 days. My husband said, do you want to come to see a show? I'm like, no. I
don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to see anybody. I want to sit at home and I want to watch some really bad TV.
With my cats.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah. And that's okay.
Exactly. We've got to recharge.
Yeah.
Let's hark back to a couple of years ago, Let's talk about, the elephant in the room, the old pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
Did you adapt with that? What lessons did you learn? Because I know it's a tough time for so many businesses.
Look, I was one of these people that felt really bad for other businesses because I absolutely thrived during the pandemic. So, I kind of looked out to what I could do. Basically, I was still doing the same thing, but all of a sudden I was creating products that were like, more of a comfort item for people. E-com went nuts. Like all e-com brands that I follow, like, people were sitting at home. They obviously couldn't get out to the shops. My price point is a quite doable price point. And then I think probably, I had my little shed down in the garage, and I had it was maybe like, 13 square meters. And then I obviously, and again, my choice, my beliefs, I got really passionate about vaccinations because I do come from, I've got family members and people in my life that are from a medical background. So again, totally not and I did kind of want to push that agenda, because at the time I was like, this is how we're going to get back to it. So I did a t-shirt that said, let's get shots. So it was my combination of alcohol that I love and immunizations. So I had a picture of like a woman's arm with a band-aid with a love heart on it, and then let's get shots. And I was like, this could go either way, but fuck it. Again, I'm going to just do it. So I sent one to an influencer down in Melbourne called Clementine Ford, and she was quite prolifically promoting vaccinations as well. And yeah, she wore it. And I was actually meant to launch on the Sunday night, and she wore it on the Saturday night, and I just had to press go. And I think I sold like over that weekend close to like 1,000 to 2,000 t-shirts. So I was like, shit. I called my screen printer. I'm like, we got to order some like stock right away. And he was printing. And as fast as he'd print them, they would sell out. So yeah, I was giving first responders and people in the healthcare industry 50% off so they could wear them. People were buying them because I had that really short time frame of, people were buying them for their vaccination that they knew they were booked in for a month, and then they'd have the second vaccination. So even though it was felt like forever, it was still a short period of time. I had to actually push those out and get them out to people. And yeah, like I wore mine to Homebush Bay where I got my vaccination, and then like that night I'd get home and I'd have 40 new sales because people were like, I saw your t-shirt, I really loved it, kind of thing. So yeah, so that skyrocketed, and then I spiraled into the point where I needed to upgrade my space. So I went and got a warehouse. I hired a digital team because I was going to the point where I couldn't manage my social media anymore, and I decided to run Facebook ads and get my my newsletter subscribers going. I gained about 10,000 subscribers in less than a month. So that was going crazy busy. Got my warehouse, and then I think the minute COVID started like, I would say petering off, maybe like start of last year, I noticed started a massive decline in sales. I made the massive decision I had 2 years rent on my huge 130 square meter warehouse, and I had to give that up because I was hemorrhaging money. It's amazing how you can go from unbelievable high to all of a sudden going, I could lose my business in 3 months.
My gosh.
Yeah. So I made the really hard decision to cease my lease, and I moved into office space because little did I know office spaces were cheap as chips because no one was in offices anymore. Everyone worked out that they can work from home.
Yes.
So I got a really good office space for a half of the price of what I was paying for my warehouse, same size. And I learned Facebook and marketing myself. I unfortunately had to let my digital team go because I was spending more on service fees a month than I could on actually the ads I wanted to spend. And I took a lot of the reins back, and I didn't feel like I'd lost anything. I didn't feel disappointed in myself because I think the pride of the fact that I knew I had to pivot and I had to really make those changes to make my business survive made me really proud. I was like, I could just keep going and spending this money, but I decided not to. I took the high road and swallowed my pride, and I downsized, and it's worked out so good for me.
That's why you're still standing today.
Yeah. And my overheads are less. And yeah, look, I work harder than I probably did 2 years ago, but I still love it. And that's a massive thing I have to say for people. As much as you want to give up, you are if you're the most passionate about your brand than anybody else, that is what's going to make it. Like if you start losing that passion, it's a slippery slope. And I don't know how you can get that back.
Could not agree more. I always say, I have a branding business as well as Bring Back Your Pink. Me, it's like, what does it spark joy?
Yeah.
And people have said, like, I've ceased doing one-on-one work because I focus on my course, because my course is what sparks joy for me.
Yeah.
So I had to pivot. Yes, I'm not making as much money because I'm not doing the one-on-ones. Am I fulfilled? Hell yeah.
That's it. I mean, it's really hard. You see, you see the people with the warehouse posts and look at our brand new big office and we've just hired this much staff. You have to understand, like, that means more overheads. That means more money that's being spent. It doesn't necessarily equate to profit. So, yeah, people
get started on that because, you would have seen in the entrepreneurial world, there's so many coaches, 6-figure business, do this, do that. And it's like profits.
Yeah, that's it. It means nothing if you're not making a wage.
Won't go down that track because we're focusing on you and your fabulous business. Earlier on you mentioned that really amazing story and very inspiring story of the lady that wore your Worthy t-shirt to her court hearing. Have you got any other amazing customer stories like that you could share?
Oh, look, honestly, it's hard to say because I find a lot of people don't think to share stuff with me, but then I see their posts on their Instagram and they've tagged me and they've done a body positive photo shoot and they've worn my t-shirt and they're like, oh, we've never done anything like this. So things like that, there hasn't been one huge big thing. There's just lots of little stories that I see come through from people obviously being neurodivergent, I've got ADHD, launching t-shirts that are about, powered by ADHD, the neurodivergent t-shirt, people, wearing them and posting and saying, I've hid behind who I am for so long, but wearing this t-shirt, there's lots of little stories. I couldn't pinpoint just one, but honestly, that's and my husband hates it when I say this a phrase, but that is what fills my cup. I love seeing stuff like that.
I'm the same. I know, not that, I don't have a business like yours, obviously, but, when something fills your cup, it does fill your cup.
Yeah. And it makes you realize that's why I'm doing it.
100%. And just listening to you then, was making me feel so good. And I even got a big goosebumpy, about these women. And I guess the thing is, because I am one of them, that your teas have helped me dramatically come out of my shell and be who I was meant to be. And to think that you've got a whole community of amazing women out there that are living and becoming or unbecoming who they thought they shouldn't be because of something you've done.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. Gives me the warm fuzzies.
Darn good feeling. So what's next? What's next for Confetti Rebels? Coming out for Christmas, girlfriend, or anything that you can give us a sneak peek into?
Yes, so Christmas, can you believe it? It's September and but I've had Christmas going since February. I've had to, that's the thing. I've learned that I really need to prep better. I'm a bit of a sporadic person. So, and that's the joy of being able to print locally as well. I can quickly deliver t-shirts quite, within 2 weeks, but with my really nice funky stuff, like my skirts and my t-shirts with the chulls and the puffs, I really have to prep in advance. So yeah, I've got a huge Christmas, collection coming out in October. Everyone's like, October already. And I'm like, yeah, because it's Christmas. You want to wear as much as you can because, but a lot of the products you'll be able to wear after Christmas as well. And yeah, coming into next year, I've got some, let's just say sequins, and more pajamas, like tie-dye just goes crazy, all that kind of stuff. So yeah. And honestly, I say I've got it all worked out. I'm probably only 6 months in. I'm 6 months but ahead of the time. But past that, yeah, I change my mind, or I'm like, no, I don't. The amount of product samples I've got sitting around that I never do is immense. But then I'll come back to it 2 years later and go, yeah, I've decided I'm going to bring that out now. So
that's because it's your business. You can do whatever the fuck you like.
Exactly. That's what I love about it.
So as a female entrepreneur, what advice do you have for other women, that are looking to reinvent themselves, in some way and perhaps start their own business?
Yeah, look, there's that meme that goes like, I left my 9-to-5 job to start, to get my own business. And now I work, 20 hours a day. Shit. It's a really funny meme and it's so true. I think if you have an idea and like, say for instance, you want to bring out scented candles, great. That's and then you're like, oh, but it's a flooded market, there's a lot of people. Do something different. Like, I think it's being different and being a little bit unique. You can then really knuckle down and I don't like to say attack, but really get, that niche market. Do something and do it well. Don't spread your butter and think, oh, if I do this and I do this and I do this and I do this and I'm very, but so many like businesses I see starting off, get your website sorted first. Get your Instagram sorted, get your Facebook sorted, start posting before you launch any products, because people need to start familiarizing themselves with your brand first. I can't stand these people that launch products and their website's not ready, or they've got one post on their Instagram. It's like, and then they sit there and they're like, I haven't made any sales. And you're like, it takes so much work. Be prepared that you're going to be working long hours, but you have to love those hours that you're working, because it does, like, and be really strict with yourself. So daily I will work between 9 and 12 p.m. I pack orders and then I come home, I have my lunch, I go for a walk, because that is what fills my cup on a daily basis. And then from about 3:00 when I have kids, so it's got to work with your schedule, I spend an hour with my children, and then I put them on devices and I answer emails until 5. And then I'm done for the night, because it's just learning those boundaries. And nothing's ever going to be on an even keel. It's never going to be on the same level. When your business goes really well, usually your family life or your personal life suffers. And when your personal life's going really well, usually, your business life suffers. Nothing's ever, it's always, it's such an imbalance. So you got to be prepared for that, and having a good, if you have a partner in your life, having someone that supports you is great, or even if it's family members or friends that support you, and just go for it. If you have that idea and you're passionate about it, if you are passionate about it, then everyone else is going to be passionate about it. If you don't want to put 100% in and be passionate about it, no one else will. So, yeah.
That's the thing. You don't want, and also you don't want to look back in 12 months' time and go, oh, I wish I'd done that.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And work out a good budget, how much you want to spend. Don't just go throwing your money in Facebook ads straight away. Like, don't go and hire a fancy pants agency thinking that they're going to be, the be all and end all, and they're going to get you sales, because it doesn't work like that. A lot of this stuff now is UGC, user generated content creators, sending stuff to people. So they don't even need to be influencers, just as long as you've got products that people can experience and film, and you talk about it. And the biggest thing is, and I know I always harp on about it, but it's authenticity.
Yes.
If you're having a bad day and you can't get orders out, get on your stories and talk about it. Say, I'm so sorry, I've got a little kid with gastro. Everyone that's ordered express today, it's not going to happen. Like, people just love that authenticity, because if they don't see that, they're just going to treat you like another business. And like, I have people messaging me, email me at like 10 o'clock at night, apologizing, but they're only doing it because that's the only time they can. I'm so sorry to bother you at this time of the night, but obviously I don't get it till the next day. But it's just, they know that I'm a one woman show and it's my business. And I've managed to, show that through authenticity from online. So yeah, you've just got to show that. A lot of people are like, oh, but I don't like getting behind the camera and I don't like doing this. I'm like, well, don't just show packing your order with your hands or something. Just do a voiceover. You don't have to talk to the camera. It's just showing, there's other ways to show authenticity rather than just putting standard slides up on stories and putting Facebook posts on that look curated in Canva, because people won't get to, feel your brand if they don't feel you behind it.
Exactly. And that's why, I love your brand so much, because, as a brand coach myself, your brand is exactly what others should aspire to be like.
Oh, that's an awesome, that makes my head really big, and I really appreciate that.
But
But it's true though. All I want for everybody is to have a successful business. Even if they are a competitor, there's room for everybody. So
saying there is enough sunshine for everyone.
Yeah, totally. Because if other people are buying slogan T-shirts, that means there's a market for it. It's great.
And I mean, you could have a lot of T-shirts.
Yeah, totally. Even I buy other people's slogan T-shirts.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But lastly, last question I have for you, and thank you so much for coming on. This has been such a great chat. I've really enjoyed it.
Anytime.
What's one message you would like people to take away from Confetti Rebels?
Look. Can I say the Nike slogan? Just do it. If you've been mulling on an idea and you haven't been sure whether to do it, as I said, just do it. Like, what have you got to lose? You really got to work out what have you got to lose, and put that passion behind it and go for it. And don't listen to those family members that think, oh no, you've got to be safe. You shouldn't be doing that right now. You shouldn't, when it's time. And when it's time to, I know so many amazing women that have left their 9-to-5 big corp jobs and started a business, and they're not taking away the same amount of the same paycheck that they used to, but they're so much more fulfilled from it. So yeah. And also making that time. Like, I have the time now. I'm so grateful that I get to spend time with my children. And it's really, some people, I'm grateful for that. I know not everybody else has that opportunity, but it's taken me 6 years to work to that. So I'm comfortably earning a wage that I can take away and be happy about it. I'm sure I could earn more if I worked in, a 9-to-5 job, but I wouldn't be able to spend time with my children and my family. So yeah.
I think certain personalities, I was in the corporate world. Some of the ladies that are listening would know my background. I was made redundant in 2020, which at the time I thought was the biggest disaster in the world.
Yeah. Worst thing ever.
Best thing that ever happened to me. I actually call that day my rebirth day, because that's the day I'm reborn. So I love that message, that takeaway. Just go out and do it. Don't
doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself.
So don't doubt yourself. Believe in yourself. That's one really important thing we've got to have in a business too, is the belief that you are enough.
Good enough.
So where can people find you? Even though we've talked.
Literally just type in Confetti Rebels on Instagram. Don't bother with TikTok because I haven't, but you can if you want. And just confettirebels.com.au. So
Dick.
Look out for the pink, look out for the confetti, look out for the dancing, look out for my face, my mug on the gram. I'm there.
And the tulle.
And the tulle and the rainbow and everything, colour.
Thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure to chat with you. I
know it's been a long time coming. I'm sorry, I know I've been trying to get it booked in, but yeah, it's been great.
Absolute pleasure. And ladies, I want you to remember, like Amy and like me, be who you're meant to be. Don't try and put yourself in a box that doesn't fit you. So stay pink, ladies, and I will catch you on the next episode. Bye. Hey, ladies, I created this podcast because I know we need more of it to help us bring back our pink and live our best lives. But guess what? We can't do this alone. So if you loved this episode, let's spread the word. Share it on your socials, send it to a friend, and don't forget to write us a review. By doing this, you become part of the movement to bring back your pink and inspire others to do the same. I'm incredibly grateful to have you in my world as we live life in full color and become our authentic selves. Together, we're unstoppable. Let's keep rocking and bringing back the pink.